Hello, my name is Maurice. I'm from Geneva, Switzerland. I'm 41 and I got interested in the social issues a bit by accident. I actually started by being trained as a lawyer, and when I finished my studies after I got my degree, I decided to volunteer for a year and go to Latin America and work with street children with a local organization called Casa Alianza. And my idea was to stay only a year as a volunteer, but it actually changed my perspective on how I could also participate in social changes, and decided to stay with the organization for several years until I moved to Nicaragua and set up a large organization also working with street children. After that, I did some studies, again, a master in humanitarian action, work at the International Red Cross in Africa mostly, and worked also with the largest Swiss-based NGO working with children, mostly in Latin America. 7 years ago, together with Etienne, a good friend for many years, we decided to set up WISE.
My name is Etienne and I'm 40. I co-founded with Maurice WISE, philanthropy advisor. And I got into social issues by many different routes. But I think there is one which I would like to highlight, is the one when numerous years ago I actually visited Maurice in the field when he was training military staff and working with street kids, negotiating with minister, and I was spending a week with him on his work, and I was absolutely fascinating to see the change you can create. And by the same token, years after that initial visit, I actually had the possibilities when we created a similar organization to what Maurice was doing in the field. We started an organization in Switzerland called Casa Alianza Switzerland, and I had the possibilities to travel on the field with one donors. And that donors was absolutely fascinated by being able to be directly in the field, directly involved in the work, the kind of work we're doing. And that actually turned out to be numerous years after that wise, because being involved, going on the field, having the ability to have a personal engagement, that's among the numerous things that excited him at that time. And we felt that actually bringing him on the field was giving us the possibilities to actually leverage that one experience with many more. And that's what WISE Philanthropy Advisor does today. We're a couple of great people here in Geneva working on the issues, and it's a great staff. And what we do actually is to advise and support families and wealthy individuals, foundation, youth, young family member into the philanthropy endeavor. That's what we do at WISE, and that's what we enjoy doing. As we work with wealthy donors and their families, we often have the opportunity to work with numerous generations, and it is amazing in that prospect actually being able to see the power of youth. And I mean, to our experience, our perspective, I think the power of youth is on one side to be able actually to change the world in the good sense, but also to be changed. And I think it's both sides of the equation which make actually the journey of youth terrific in philanthropy. One anecdote that comes to my mind is that family we're working with for numerous years, and we're working with 4 of the siblings. It has been we've been working around the world. They've been becoming global donors on the large scales, and it was absolutely great recently as we had a retreat with the families to see how one of the the youth, after spending so much energy and field trips and field visits, decided to change her careers, and now she's on economic development, and I think she has learned through those experience how much actually she could leverage the networks and the wealth and her knowledge and parents' networks into issues that matters, and she's decided to train into that. And I think this is an outstanding story for expressing one of the way of the youth can have power. What do you think?
I fully agree with you, and actually we have a long history of working with the younger generation, and we've organized several trips in Brazil and in Vietnam involving the younger generation of philanthropists and social investors, and it was very interesting to see how young people have this energy, this vision that is a bit different than what it was maybe in the past before, which is people who are really impact driven, who really want to make a difference but being personally involved, and they really take the time that is necessary. Many people volunteer, find a way to understand, to visit project countries, understand the issues, and I think this hands-on attitude it's something that is very promising for the future. Now, if I might give a couple of advice also on...
You should, Maurice.
I should at least try. On the experience we've done with the younger generation and how to get involved, I think it's very important to set very clear goals when you want to do something. Nevertheless, it is also important to accept the idea of failure. In the process, you might discover that the route you have decided to take, the path is not necessarily the right one. Therefore, you need to be able to change your strategy during the course of the implementation of the philanthropy you want to do or the social investing you want to do. I think it is also very important to remain humble. Take the experience of other people around you who have had maybe more years of failure and successes and experience so that you go a bit faster and you avoid committing the same mistakes that most people actually commit, especially at the beginning. Being a good listener always helps in the journey of doing philanthropy or social investment, that's for sure.
No, I agree with you. I mean, being a good listener is a key advice. I felt that actually it was also important, just as we are not being able to be with you guys by the end of the month, and we're going to really miss that opportunity. We wanted to share also why such a global network of young philanthropists is something that actually is critical and needed. And we can only welcome all the energy in the room or in the workshop that we're actually being able to work on. And I think there's two elements that we wanted to stress. The first one is there are global issues out there, and unless you confront and exchange global experience, if there is not such a space, the lesson learned and the collaboration are much less than what they can be. So I think creating a safe space for people that are like-minded, but at the same time carry difference, is something which is of great value. The second element, which I strongly believe, is that we've been working across the world with families. I was in the Emirates before Christmas. We are soon in Brazil and Asia. We work with European families, and culture matters. It matters because families are different, and philanthropy is about different family stories, but also our cultural background is different. I see families where there is a wedding across culture, where you're sensitive to that issues. Our culture matters because the way you perceive your giving or your philanthropy endeavor, is different. If you are in the Emirates, you are not perceiving your giving the way you might be in Switzerland. So I do think that actually, or in Asia, specifically where Maurice is also working tremendously. So I do think that actually the relevance on global issue, being a global network, is key, and that culture matters. And actually, if you're able to exchange your experience, bring different perspective, is something that would be actually of the greatest value. So we both wish you an excellent conference and gathering together. Gathering might not be the word, but brainstorming, and we hope that actually you're going to have a successful conclusion on your trip.
Have an excellent time together, and thank you to Jonah for this opportunity to be with you today. Bye-bye, take care.
Bye-bye.